All right, guys, welcome back to another lesson. So this is actually one of my favorite lessons to show you guys, and I'm super excited to get into this. So what we're going to be learning today is how to get clients in 2025. And these methods that I'm going to show you, I haven't seen anyone else use some of them. So this is going to be 100% completely fresh, new methods for some of you guys. Some of you, I'm going to go over a few other ones that maybe you may know about or you've tried before. But yeah, there's definitely some new material in here. So definitely don't skip this, guys. This is going to be one of the most, if not the most important lesson module. So make sure you stick around for this and watch till the end. Also, if just a pro tip, if you want to listen to this faster, you can listen at 1.5 or 2x speed. So yeah, let's just jump right in. Okay, so what we're going to learn today, guys, is mainly how to find clients, okay? How I made over 6 figures from going to the sauna. So I really want to share another cool method that I've used to sign over 6 figures from kind of input methods. Reframing your perception of no, okay, and rejection, which is super critical and really important, no matter what your business you're doing, but specifically for this as well. Deep dive into the most four effective ways how to get clients, how easy it is to hit 10K a month. I'm also going to be showing you guys a quick demo about how to prospect so that you'll be able to kind of see it in person, and also how to get, the multimillionaires, billionaires, decision makers, literally whoever you want, WhatsApp number to pitch YouTube ads, okay? I'll also be briefly touching on follow-ups. And then last but not least, what to do if a prospect asks for your resume, because one of the methods I'm going to be showing you guys will encounter this sometimes, but there's a very easy way to kind of get around that and get them on a call. So yeah, really excited to get into this. So where to find clients in 2025, guys? Now, if you're watching this, I assume that either you guys have been doing this for a while, you've just started, or maybe you are completely new. But regardless of where you're at, I think you're going to find some info in this, some valuable information here. So obviously, you guys would know about the first one, the websites, right? You can always go on the websites, go to their contact info. That's kind of a given. You can Google different niches, right? Like, for example, roofing Vancouver, auto insurance Vancouver, and find a company, find a website, go there, get their contact info. But now, while that method can be effective, it's very generic, right? And because it's such a low barrier of entry and everyone kind of knows how to do it, you might have to send out a lot of volume to get some responses back. But it's also something that a lot of freelancers and agencies and media buyers today overlook because they just think it's too simple, and that the info at whatevercompanies.com email is just generic and they're not going to get to the business owner, and maybe the website's no good, things like that they don't even bother. So you may actually have low competition or no competition. So it's hit or miss, but it is kind of one of the tried and true classic ways to do it. Another really cool way is to go to Shopify apps. So if you go to the Shopify app store and check reviews, you can actually see what other e-com brands are using those apps, and you can reach out to them, which is another cool hack. So this is obviously for e-commerce for the most part. That's another really good way. Again, if you're doing this way, you would want to find kind of more recent reviews, at least within the last year or two, as more recent as you can find it. But yeah, it's a good way to kind of think outside the box, and also find e-com companies that are using specific apps for their services. So it could be like an upsell app, could be different like landing page softwares. There's lots of different things where you can find kind of e-com owners through that method. So definitely try that one out. Another one, Facebook pages. So obviously, guys, you know about this. If you go to Facebook page and you go to the about or just the info section, you can find out if they have an email listed. Generally they do. So you can try to contact that one. Now, if you are using that method, I would be careful because sometimes it'll list an agency's contact info. So obviously, if you're trying to pitch your services or you're trying to win that client, it wouldn't be a good idea to let the agency or email the agency saying, hey, I'm trying to take your client, basically. Or like, hey, you're trying to kind of, take their gig. So if it is an agency email, just make sure you check at the end if it seems like an agency, or do a quick Google if you think that they might be a media buyer or something like that. Other times too, it could just be like marketing at that company, and it might be a media buyer or freelancer, or it could just be an internal marketing person like the marketing manager or growth hacker or something like that. So just be aware of that when you do reach out. Another one is the YouTube channels. So again, if you guys go to any YouTube and go to the section, you'll be able to find if they have an email listed, you'll be able to find an email. So I found that one to work quite well. But yeah, you just have to kind of be very careful in choosing which business you reach out to, because like some of them, if they're really small channels, or they haven't posted any videos, it might be a throwaway account. It might just be not used much. That business might not be doing it very well. That business might be out of business. So I typically try to reach out to the more established accounts if you can, with at least a decent amount of videos, viewers. Subscriber doesn't matter that much, but you definitely want to have them have like decent amount of videos, viewership, and some subs if possible. Okay. LinkedIn. So I know you guys are familiar with that. You can go find someone's profile and reach out to them. I'm actually going to, in a little while, show you a demo of some really cool ways to get emails and get WhatsApp numbers off of LinkedIn. And then finally, Reddit. So a lot of people don't actually use this, but this can be good. So it depends on what niche, but for say crypto, or even e-com and different things, coaching, things like that, you can go to the subreddits and you can start looking through the Reddits and see what people comment. It does take a bit of legwork. Like, you're going to have to go through many different posts and things in subreddits, but it is another outside the box way to find clients. And I think that's kind of the key in 2025, guys, is like, there are some tried and true methods that, I'm going to show you exactly how to do those, and they do work. But you also want to be supplementing that with some of these outside the box methods, because otherwise you're just going to be kind of doing the same thing that everyone else is doing, right? And you want to maximize your chances of getting a response, getting them on a call, and then, ideally signing them. Okay. So what's my biggest hack? So my biggest hack to signing clients in 2025 and even beyond, and I've been using this for years, guys, and this is the method that I was talking about, where I haven't ever met anyone who's ever done this before, or talked about it or heard about it before. So I figured this out years ago on my own, and it's been one of the main drivers of acquiring clients for my business. So basically what it is you're using job boards like Indeed, Workopolis, Monster, like whatever ones, wherever you're at, USA, Canada, Europe, wherever the heck you're at, you're going to use your local job boards. And what you're going to do is, here, let me give you a quick demo here. So this is Indeed. This is US Indeed. What you're going to do is, first of all, you're going to go over here and you're going to put remote. Okay. And then you're going to pop in media buyer or Facebook ads or YouTube ads, something like that. Okay. So let's just say, we'll just keep it at media buyer. Okay. For now. So you're going to pop in media buyer, right? It's going to give you a ton of search options. And the key here is that, so obviously these are companies looking for people to help them get more sales, signups, leads, whatever, basically help them fix a problem, right? And they're posting on these job boards to get someone to help them. And although they do list a salary, like you can see here, $80,000 to $100,000 a year, you're not going to pay attention to that. You're not going to worry about that, because the main key here is that they're telling you they need someone to help with sales and marketing and lead gen and whatever else. So what you're going to do is you're going to actually reach out to these people, to business owners directly, and they're going to pitch them on YouTube ads and get on a call with them. And you're not even going to mention or talk about salary or anything like that, because they're going to be so excited to jump on a call with you from what you're going to say and what you're going to tell them about YouTube ads and how you can help them and the benefits of what the results could be, that they're going to not even care about, the salary or like in-person position or things like that. So this is a really important thing to note, guys, because probably 99% of the time, or almost 100% of the time, freelancers, media buyers, whatever, they don't even use this method because they just think, they're just looking for an in-person full-time position. They're just looking for, a marketing manager. They're just looking for, in-house media buyer. And that's just a very, kind of negative perception of the reality of it, in that they're literally telling you that they need help, that they need marketing help, that they need sales help, need lead gen help, right? They're literally like easiest place ever to find clients. Do you know what I mean? Instead of like trying to reach out to thousands or tens of thousands of people where you have no idea whether they have an agency, whether they've tried ads, they're running ads, they're doing really well, they don't need you, like so many variables and situations. Right here, they're literally telling you with a huge neon sign on their head, on their forehead, hey, we need help. Talk to us. So honestly, I'm shocked that I've never seen or heard of anyone really using these methods. And it's honestly one of the biggest hacks, because you have low competition, especially with the reach out method. So like, again, guys, you're not going to be having anything to do with this apply now button. So you're going to be directly messaging the business owner, founder, director of marketing, VP of marketing, marketing manager, whoever, we can get to, that basically the decision maker directly. So you're going to get a direct line with them, and you're not even going to worry about this. And that's another reason why you're not going to have to go through any like resume bullshit, or like you're not going to send your resume. You're not going to talk to the HR person. You're not going to set up an interview. You're going to set up a prospecting call, like basically a discovery call with them. So another thing is like, you're not competing with all of these, Joe Bobs who have applied through the traditional method of resume and then try to set up an interview with the HR person and then whoever, right? And takes weeks and whatever. So that's a huge key as well. Okay, and I'm going to show you guys exactly how to do this in a second here. So yeah, the key here is just, you're not going to pay attention to like, obviously we're searching remote, which is definitely, it's going to give you a little bit of an advantage, because you know that, okay, they are open to working remote. But even if it says in person, and you've reviewed the business or the, what they're looking for, you think that it could be a good fit for you and for you to reach out, because like your job is to basically change their mind and basically convince them that hiring you is actually better for them in the long term. It's going to make them more money. And is like have in-person media buyer marketer, right? Without having all of this, salary and having to pay health insurance and all of these other things. Okay. So it's really important to not let that blind you, and still reach out to them regardless of whether it says full-time position, salary, whatever. Some of them will say contract, part-time, contract work, freelancers, whatever. And then that's kind of a green light, like, oh, okay, they are looking for this stuff. And generally those ones are going to be a little more receptive and easier to convince. But don't shoot yourself in the foot by just, limiting yourself by, oh, this person says full-time or this person says salary. They're literally telling you they need help with ads. So continue to reach out to them, guys, and don't let that stop you, okay? Let's do a quick example here. Let me see if I can find one. And I just want to show you guys some other, like, sometimes I'll use Facebook ads because maybe they say Facebook ads, but they could also use YouTube ads. So it depends, but, and also can change this. What I like to do is do kind of more recent to kind of less recent. And what I found too is that the newer, you can sign up for updates as well with your email, so that you'll get kind of daily updates of new postings. But what I found is that if you can reach out, the quicker you reach out to when they post it, your chances of working with them, or at least getting a call, go astronomical, through the roof, right? So, after they've been talking to or interviewing like 50 to 100 people, then it gets really difficult. It can get difficult to jump on a call with them. Their scheduling may be booked up, or they may just be at the point where, like, I've even been in this position before years ago when I worked for some startups and stuff as a marketing manager and director, is that you get to the point where you're like, I don't want to talk to anyone else. I'm just, you've been spent 2 weeks of this already. You just want to get someone hired. So you kind of take your short list of 5 people or whoever it is, and 5 to 10 people. Maybe you jump on a second call with a few of them, and then you just choose someone. And I think that's what happens a lot of the time as well with most companies. So the quicker you can respond and get on a call with them, the higher chance you have at signing them. Okay. So let's just look at here for a quick example. And you're going to get a lot of agencies, guys. That's just kind of the nature of it. Most agencies outsource with this stuff. So just be aware of that. You may have to kind of filter through those a bit. Let's just try Google Ads. Demand gen, Lono. Let's try this one, Lono. So, and like, when I said before, disregard the salary, it doesn't mean that, it's not useful. So like, one thing that I could use this for is that I could work that out over a year and see, just kind of get a range of maybe how much they're expecting to pay, or how much maybe I want to charge them if I'm going retainer, or if I'm going to go setup fee. It just gives you some more information where you can be like, oh, well, they're already expecting to pay this much. So it can help you when you're either pricing it out yourself, or if you already have a price in mind, convincing them that this is a better value way to go. So if we just do a quick, 75,000 over a year, what is that? That's $6,250. So $6,250 per month is their kind of range for that. So if you come in there at, a $15,000 setup fee, well, that's, 6,250 times three. That's what, 18,750? Check my math here. Yeah, 18,750. So for a 3 month period, which again, you're going to be focusing on 3 month contracts, Ely, they're going to be expecting to pay you or pay someone a $18,750 retainer basically over the 3 months, so 6,250 every month, right? So if you come in there with a $15,000 or $10,000 setup fee, right, just for the ads, taking care of all the ads, the funnels, everything like that, and then have your performance on the back end, then if they try to say, oh, that's super expensive or whatever, that you can easily just break this down to them and be like, well, listen, this is actually cheaper than what you guys were talking about, and you're getting way more value. You're getting X, X, and X and X, and this is what your results can look like, and blah, blah, blah. So it's just a good thing to take into account and just give you some more ideas and firepower for your sales process, okay? And guys, don't worry about this stuff Monday to Friday. Again, like once you get on a call with them and pick up your services, you are going to be working under your own terms. So it's not going to be hourly or like anything like that. It's performance based, and you're basically, you're not trading your time for money. You are providing, a lead gen, whatever sales, ads, marketing service, depending on, if they're e-com or if they're lead gen for YouTube ads. And it's not based on time. It's not a time thing. You're not going to break down your hours. You're not going to tell them, oh, it's going to be 20 hours a week, 40 hours a week. No, it's as much time as is needed. So maybe that's 8 hours a week. Maybe that is 2 hours a week. Maybe that's 40 hours a week. It really depends on your skills, and also, your testing and all of that stuff. So yeah, you're never going to break down any time, and you're never going to give them even estimates. You're never going to I don't even ever give estimates of, if they ever ask, so roughly how much time are you going to be spending per week? I never even break that down or talk about that. I simply say what I just said, is that it's performance based. So it's as much or as little time as needed. And that, they're paying for the results, right? They're not paying for the hours. So you can kind of quickly read here, get a kind of rough idea about their business, what they're looking for, maybe what the KPIs are, if it's lead gen or sales or whatever. And again, you're not gonna listen to any of this stuff. It's like blah blah blah. Please submit your sales cover letter. Blah blah blah. I'm not gonna do that time. This could be useful May 15th. So you might want to take that into account. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So what we're going to do is we're going to copy this. So low now, and we're going to go over to, so you can go over to Google or LinkedIn. It doesn't matter, but you're going to pop in their company name. Okay. And alternatively, if you go Google, you just do their company name and LinkedIn. So low now, LinkedIn, search, and you'll get the same thing. So comes up with their company. You're going to click on that. And you can do a couple things here. So one thing is you can check the jobs, which generally they do have the same postings. This one they don't. If they do have it, sometimes they do list like the contact, and it's likely like a specific marketing manager or director or something like that. So for bigger companies where they have, hundreds or thousands of employees, it can be really useful to check this first, because you don't have to like sift through hundreds of thousands of people to find who you want to reach out to, who the decision maker is. So if it says like, oh, this specific marketing manager is the hiring manager, you can just click on their name and get their info, which what I'm going to show you in a second, and just reach out to them directly, and it's easy. It only takes like 30 seconds. So this one doesn't have it, so we're going to go the traditional route, which you go to people. And what you're going to do is, so typically when you do this, before we get to the search thing, if you just look down here, it's going to often give you kind of the higher ups first. So it's like CEO and founder. This guy's probably a CEO or founder or investor or something. It says probably vice chair. This person could be the marketing manager. So it typically kind of gives you, I've noticed at least mine, it does give you kind of a top-down list, which is good. But we're also just going to pop in marketing and see what we can find here. All right. And something else you can do is, guys, you can put in marketing manager, you can put in vice president, so you can test around with it a little bit. So once we find this, I'll just do a quick look through, see if there's like marketing director or manager in their profile. The one person that stands out right now is this guy, senior marketing coordinator. So we're We're going to pop that. We're going to try this person, and maybe this person. And I think that's pretty much it. Maybe this person. And also, yeah, maybe we'll try Alan as well because he has this Vice something in his name. So you're just going to open those in new tabs or however you want to do it. You can go down here and see what their actual position is. So this one is the Senior Coordinator of Audience and Optimization. We go back to our posting there. It says Audience and Automation. So this could be that this guy is actually posting for this since that is his position. Or the alternate thing is that the company could actually be trying to replace this person in case they're not doing well or they want new results or whatever it is. This person's leaving, like they quit, whatever. So we're not going to reach out to that guy quite yet. That guy's kind of going to be on a. Also, he's only been there 9 months. So typically, if they're higher up, they've been there at least like 1 to 2 years plus. So we're going to leave that. Oh, so here we go. Yeah, he got a promotion. And sometimes too, they'll share like, oh, I'm looking for this position. If you know, a lot of times they will do that on LinkedIn. They'll just make a little post. Hey, our company's looking for a audience and whatever paid social person. So anyway, you're just gonna look at this, kind of taking all this info. But yeah, we're gonna kind of leave this guy here for now, just to see what else is out there. So she has I think similar position, senior digital marketing, senior coordinator, and she's been there about a year, so could have potential, but again, not really what I want to see yet. This seems to be more for client success type of thing. But she's been here about 2 years. Okay, different positions. Could have something there. Again, not going to reach out to that person quite yet. How about this? He's been here almost 2 years, but still no marketing manager, director position. Okay, I think this is the person that we want to talk to. So they've been here 3 years. Okay, lead. So they are in the job. Remember, if we go back here, they are in this department or whatever you want to call it of their business, and they've been the position that they're hiring for, and now they are the lead. So, and you can also see, okay, they manage a $300K budget, ads, meta ads. So this is interesting too. You can find out, okay, they probably aren't doing YouTube yet, although sometimes they do include that under Google because YouTube ads is Google Ads dashboards in the same dashboard, but typically people do say like YouTube ads. So I think they probably aren't running that, but that's just extra info you can kind of gain from that. So this is definitely the person we would want to reach out to. Okay, so now how do we do that, guys? So there's a few different methods to this, and this may not. I'm just looking at this now. This may not work for one of them, but I'll show you anyway. So this seems to be a person we want to reach out to, right? So there's a few ways you can do this. There's a few different apps. One of the best hacks that I found is that using Apollo IO and the Google Chrome app. So once you have this installed, it automatically will pop up when you're on their profile, and it'll tell you about or show you their info if it's there. So what we can see here is that, okay, Apollo wasn't able to find an email. Okay, they have a phone number but no email. So another thing we're going to want to use is there's another app called Signal Hire. So we can try that. It does do the same thing, and just for demo's sake, I'm using a free account, guys. So like you only get 10 per month. So what you can do here is, again, you can try to make different accounts, or you can just pay I think it's like $80 a month and get however many credits to do this. But anyway, so we'll see if this gives us anything, because sometimes you have to use different apps, guys, to find their info. Okay, so Signal Hire was able to actually find this. Okay, so for this marketing lead, it gives us their personal email here. Unfortunately, we don't get their business email yet, but we can still reach out to them. Okay, guys, so you can still reach out to these people using their personal. Now, I'm gonna caution you guys, about 1 out of every 10 people you reach out to, if you reach out to their personal email, they kind of take it negatively. They don't like it. Some of them, most of them don't care. 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10, they don't really care. They just, they're like, oh, it's okay. Or they say, hey, please respond on my business email. It's like, sure, keep it all in business. I have had, circumstances, 1 out of every 10 people, 1 of every, 15, 20 people. And they kind of are, they're just not cool with that. And they'll basically just shut it down right away. They'll say, hey, I've had people, say, hey, that's weird that you're reaching out to my whatever, and just don't listen to anything like that, guys. Just kind of delete it, or read it, and don't think about it again. It's like, obviously all of this information is from LinkedIn. It's publicly available information, and anyone can do this. So a lot of people don't know that they can remove their emails from LinkedIn and things like that. But yeah, this is it's our goal as business owners and freelancers and media buyers and YouTube ads specialists is we want to reach the decision owner, right? And the decision owner for this company is this person right now, and they've posted an ad for a paid ad specialist. So by reaching out to them, either directly or through a business email, whatever we can get our hand, we up our chances at doing that. So yeah, there's no issue in doing that. It's just that some people will, very rarely, but some people do have kind of they're just kind of, they don't want that or whatever. So, and that's okay. But anyway, so we only got her personal. So what I'm going to do here is we're going to put your name, and we're going to go to, and again, guys, I'm just using this person as an example because it was the ad that or the posting that we chose, and there was the person that seemed most like the decision maker, right? So it could be anyone. So another hack is Hunter.io. So if you and see here, guys, before I just move on, say for this guy Aleem, if you have that Apollo.io, download it and you're using that, and it does have, I think, 100 or a few hundred free credits per month. So, and they renew every month. So, or maybe it's even more than 100. And the paid version is very, very affordable as well. So regardless of what version you're using, it gives you a lot of free credits, free info. So you can just do that, or you can use the paid one. Yeah, essentially once you go on someone's profile that does have their email, it's super easy. You can just hit access email, and kind of similar like Signal Hire, you get their email and their work number. So again, you could reach out to them using this method and have their actual work email. But for the decision maker we want to reach out to, so Yingling, we don't have her business email yet. So that's what we do want to try to get, okay? So there's two ways you can do it. One is Hunter.io, and you just go to, I think it's Finder, and you pop lownow.com, you pop in the website, lownow.com. Again, Hunter has free credits as well. So I think it's like 25 per month per account. So you guys can either make a bunch of free accounts if you're just starting out at that level and you don't have enough cash or whatever, or if you obviously are a agency, and you guys are currently working with clients, and you have the funds and everything like that, definitely get the paid version, and you don't have to worry about any limitations or anything like that. So anyway, you pop it in here, the website, and now this is going to give you all of the emails. So okay, we've got marketing specialist, director of operations. Now that could be a potential person we would want to reach out to. Regional sales managers, digital marketing manager. This could be another person that we would want to reach out to. Sales director could be potential, and then Sharon Chen. So what we're looking for here is, again, like, we want to find out the best decision makers and get as many as we can, but we are looking for the specific person that we think could be the contact. So what you can do here is actually search them by name. Okay, so we're going to pop in her name. That's her name at that company, and see what that gives us. Okay, no results. So that could be a few things. That could be because it just didn't crawl or refresh its database in a while for this website. Could be that she just didn't list her business email, or it could be that it's kind of newer, a newer employee or something like that. So, but what we can do is, let's just research this again. We can find out kind of figure it out ourselves. We can find out the format, the style of their emails, the work emails. So we can see here is like, okay, this is one of the people, Andrea Lucas, and their work emails typically do first name dot last name at company.com. You can see it again here, Brian Chapman. So we know that is how it works, right? Again, we can confirm that by what we found out through Apollo is that, okay, this is the same format, right? So what we can do is we can try to, when we're reaching out to them, we can try to do that ourselves and just put the yingling.cheng@lownow.com, and we can copy that, and we can add that into our email list and just see if that it's 50-50 usually if it is workable or not. But that's basically one way where we can kind of get their email without having to actually find it or see it. Another way you can do it is you can kind of switch these things up a little bit, where you can put like last name and dot first name. You can just put, sometimes it's the first letter and then the last name, or sometimes it's just their last name at that. So you can try multiple different ways. Okay, guys? So now I'm just gonna go back to this here. This is still good info, guys. And I'd encourage you to try to reach out to as many people as possible, because in case that one email didn't work, that one contact, you're going to waste your chance, right? And kind of that time put into that. So I always reach out to as many people as possible. And like we saw here, this person could have potential: senior digital marketing coordinator, sales director, digital marketing manager, director of operations, programmatic marketing. And although some of these may not be directly, like connected to the department you're reaching out to, or the position, or like the whatever we're trying to contact, they typically, since they work in the same company and typically they work very closely together, if they do get that email, generally they will forward that to the correct person, or they will just Slack them, or talk to them at lunch, be like, hey, I got an email from someone from this guy who wants to talk to you. I'll send that over. So it is still good and worth it to send that to them. Okay. All right. So I think that's pretty much it for this quick demo, guys. And there's a few other ones you can use, guys. Like there's another one called Rocket Reach, and that's another free app. Works very similar with like Signal Hire and Apollo. I think you only get like 10 credits a month or something like that for the free one. So again, I'm signed in all on these on just free accounts, just to show you guys what's possible with the free ones. So let's see if I have any credits left for this. And anyway, if it does find an email, it will, see, so found that email, and you can just copy it from there, okay? Rocket Reach. And another one I use as well is something called Lead Leaper. So if you click this, basically they all do the same thing. They all scan the page, but some of them work better than others, or are able to provide you with things, or maybe you run out of credits, you want to use different ones, lots of things. So this kind of gives you a little bit of info. It doesn't seem to have an email, but you can say view lead, and it'll usually bring you up to the app and either show you his email or just more information about it. So for this one, unfortunately, it's not able to provide the email, so it's not useful to us. But again, if you're not able to get an email, try different ones, and you may end up getting one from a different app. Okay, so just to go back here to this one. So using all of these methods, guys, you're going to have a ton of emails and a ton of contacts to actually reach out to them. Okay, and this method can work for anyone. If let's do Gary Vaynerchuk. Like this method works for, anyone, billionaires, multimillionaires, whoever. You can actually, I've done it. You can get in contact with them directly. Now, if they choose to open it or respond to your email, that's another story. But you're still able to get their contact info. Okay, so we exited this one. Gary Vaynerchuk. I'm sure you guys all know who this guy is, but if you don't, this guy is quite a famous marketer and media personality, and he has many companies. He's invested in many companies, so it could be a good person to reach out to. So with Apollo, it says, okay, can't find the email. Okay, Apollo, what about if we use Signal Hire? And Signal Hire is doing like LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, Pinterest, Vimeo. So with Signal Hire, you're actually able to see it, and you're able to see a lot of information. So you get some numbers here, and the difference between these numbers is these are mobile, guys. This is like some of their business numbers. Here we've got a bunch of emails, and again, guys, it's I'm not guaranteeing that you can email them and they're gonna reach out to you and all this stuff, but this is one of the tried and true methods I have used and have been successful in reaching out to some of these famous people, celebrities, also business owners, anything, things like that. So it does, it can work. And so with the numbers here, what you can do with these is generally I just focus on the mobile. And what I'll do is I'll actually pop that into WhatsApp. And if you in WhatsApp, you go to create new contact, and you put in some of these numbers, it'll it'll, as it like loads it and sees if it's a real number or whatever, it'll either tell you like, okay, there's no contact, this person doesn't have WhatsApp, or if they do have WhatsApp, it'll come up and you can actually message them or call them or voicemail them that way. So yeah, that's also a really valuable tip. And again, like if I was to rank reach out methods, I would say WhatsApp's number one, and then everything else comes after that. Email, social media would be a bit below that. So yeah, WhatsApp is if they have a WhatsApp number, definitely try this method. Definitely try to reach out to them. And I wouldn't call them out of the blue, guys. A lot of people, I mean, most people don't answer on their first call or even second or third call if they don't know the number. They may block you, etc. Just either want to send a message like a voicemail or a text message. And I will show you guys more about that later on. But yeah, these are some really powerful methods, guys, and I guarantee if you start doing this consistently, you will start getting calls, booking calls, and signing clients. Okay. So let's jump back to the presentation here. I'm gonna jump around a little bit, guys, but yeah, you'll get the idea. So we kind of went over this. Some other apps you can use to reach out to clients, guys, or prospects, D7 Lead Finder, Lemlist, Apollo, obviously for email lists. I would say that Apollo is probably the best one currently. Excuse me. D7 Lead Finder, it can be good for like those local niches like plumbers and roofers and things like that. But just be aware that method is incredibly saturated. A lot of the emails are like the accuracy is pretty low. It's probably like 50% or 60% or less. And it's been around for years and years. So like 5 years ago, 6 years ago, this was a, pretty epic method, but everyone and their mom who started SMMA or whatever has been doing this for years. So, yeah, it's, just be aware that it's, I wouldn't expect much from it, but it does give you a lot of a bulk email list, like thousands and thousands, tens of thousands. So it can work, it can be helpful as well. So other ways to find clients, e-com groups, right? Use Facebook groups, guys. I've gotten clients through, $5,000 a month and up to like $15,000 US setup fees through Facebook groups. So e-com, lead gen, go high level, ClickFunnels, etc. But just be aware that some of them have been flooded with a lot of scammers and people from third world countries and things like that who aren't able to advertise in the US and different things like that. So just be very careful about if you see a post wanting maybe looking for YouTube ads or something like that, and it is someone from a kind of shadier country, just as far as advertising goes, because generally what they do is they will, in my experience, they will take your proposals, they will potentially steal your case studies, and also you just be wasting your time because their pay is going to be like $500, like a month or something like that, which is just not something you want to waste your time on. So just be aware of that. It has been flooded lately with a lot of kind of lower end or jobs that are just shady or not worth it. So I would stick to working with reputable agencies, or reputable, not agencies, but businesses from US, Canada, etc. And yeah, actually like vet their profile too. If you have a job posting, go on their profile and just check. Do they have a decent amount of friends? Did they just make their profile yesterday? Did they have some photos? Like, make sure it's legit, because there are a lot of scammers. You can also make a list of your favorite brands, guys, and reach out to them. I've done that many times. So, whether it's your shoe brands, your clothing, camera gear, anything, guys. That's another cool little way to do that, is to make a list of things you actually use from your hobbies or your passions or daily routines, and reach out to them about YouTube ads. Okay. And other ways would be you could walk around your neighborhood and city, and you can make a list of like local businesses that could use YouTube ads. Again, depends on where you're at. If you're just starting out and you want to kind of do as much as you can, that could be worth it. What I would do is I would stick to kind of the higher end corporate areas of your city. So go down to the, somewhere where there are, there's businesses that are, that they're doing well. They're not just starting, they're not just mom and pop. Not that you can't do it for mom and pop, but our goal is to get as much, money as we can without having, hundreds of clients, right? So we want to try to have better clients, be working less, getting more results, getting more money, and having less clients, right? So, if you can do that with 5 or 6 clients and you're making, 30K, 50K, 100K plus per month, that's the ideal situation versus having hundreds of clients and, working with like $1,000 a month budgets. But again, depends on your agency model. This is what worked for me. Now, some of you guys I know that are watching this are probably do have those traditional models where you do have, the higher volume clients. And, as long as that works for you, then you can do that. But just be aware that, the model is going to depend on how much you charge. Okay. And finally, like, kind of low hanging fruit, family, friends, coworkers, previous employment, networking events, co-working spaces. I've gotten clients from all of these for YouTube ads. Okay. Especially the co-working and networking events and previous employment. Okay. So now that we've went through kind of those methods, I want to share another really cool method that has easily brought me over 6 figures, guys. So how I made 6 figs going to the saunas. All right. So I guess backstory here. I've been going to saunas for over 10 plus years now, guys. It's just something I've always loved. I've always noticed the benefits from it, and it's just kind of part of my daily routine, just to de-stress and also network, have some conversations. You'd be amazed at the conversations you could have and people you can meet in saunas. So why a sauna though, and how did I do this? Well, you want to go where your audience hangs out at guys. So like just make a list or just think about it in your head right now. Where is your audience going on a day-to-day? Where is your YouTube audience going on a day-to-day? Where do they eat? What hobbies do they do? What cafes do they go to? Events do they go at, etc. Right? Because this is where you're gonna be able to connect with them and chat with them and pitch your service and work with them, right? So just I'll get back to the sauna story in a second. Just a quick example of that. There's a famous Jesse Itzler story. So if you don't know who this guy is a very big media personality now. He's on social media and business owner, entrepreneur. He's like multimillionaire. Has a lot of good business advice. I think he's like an older version of Alex Hormozi, basically. He's got some really, really great info and some golden nuggets for business and in sales. So go where your audience hangs out at. So when Jesse started, now this guy had he started off with I believe it was a jet company. I think he was like in his early 20s, and he was trying to start a private jet company and sell it to like multimillionaires and billionaires. And he was broke. He didn't know where to get clients. And I guess one day he was I think it was like Los Angeles or somewhere, and he was at this I think he was getting coffee or something like that, and at this cafe, and right next door was this like big event, and where all these like multimillionaire and billionaires, basically his audience, were at. But he couldn't get into the event. He couldn't get a ticket and wasn't allowed in the event. So instead of going home and just giving up, this is what he did: is he sat in that cafe the next day and noticed that all of these people that are coming to this event, these billionaires, these multimillionaires, at break time from this conference, they are coming to this cafe that's right next to it, and they're getting coffee and muffins. And so what he did is the next day he got there first thing in the morning, and he literally bought up all of the muffins in the cafe and waited until mid-morning until these execs, these business owners, these multimillionaires and billionaires came in, and they would go up and they'd say, hey, I want my coffee and a muffin, and the person would be like, oh, sorry, it's all sold out. And guess who right beside the desk is Jesse Itzler with all of these muffins, and he'd be like, "Hey, what's going on? I'm Jesse. I got all these muffins. You can have some." And he would introduce himself and pitch. And literally, I think it was the first person he did that to talk to. He did his elevator pitch, and it found out that that guy was interested in buying a jet, and that's how he did his first deal for like, I think it was like hundreds of millions of dollars. So really cool story, guys, and about motivation, not giving up, and also going where your audience is, right? Where do they hang out at? You got to be aware of this stuff, and you got to go out there and make it happen. So getting back to the sauna, how did I do this? How did I make 6 figures in the sauna? So what I did with the sauna is I love going there anyway. This is kind of my routine anyway, but there were some limitations. When I was living in Vancouver years ago, when I was still building my business, I was broke. I couldn't afford the most expensive gyms in the city, or probably $300, $500 a month. I think there was like one at the Trump Tower or whatever in downtown Vancouver that a lot of the kind of 7, 8, 9 figure business owners, entrepreneurs, investors went to. And obviously I couldn't afford it at the time. So I was just going to my local, $50 a month sauna. So I made some amazing connections there and friends and some kind of business, but it wasn't these massive deals. So anyway, years later, I moved to Bali, and in Bali, if you guys don't know, if you've never been there, they have very elite gyms. So they have, you can go to a $15 a month gym with no AC, or you can go to a $300 or $400 or $500 a month gym. And when I was living there, my audience was going to these places, and they were going to these high-end luxury gyms. And so I ended up going there as well. And so, I paid the $300, $400, $500 a month, whatever it was. But the key there is that it gave me access to these people that I would never have access to if I, back home going to these, shitty gyms. But in other places like Bali, which naturally attracted, a higher caliber person, and wealthier person, I was able to actually interact with these people on a daily basis for months and years. And because I was able to do that, because I went where the audience was, I was able to make connections. And a lot of these people are, almost all of them were entrepreneurs in the coaching space, e-com space, lead gen, whatever, marketing agencies. And so I was able to basically get a lot of deals from that. So guys, point of the story is just go where your audience is at. Like, figure out where they're at and go there and make the investment, whether that's a time investment like Jesse did. And the muffins he bought were probably like $30, $50. That was like probably 30 years ago, I bet. But anyway, go where your audience is, and start pitching, start making connections, and you'll be surprised at what happens. Okay, so you could even do that in the saunas, guys. It's one of my best hacks I've ever had is go to a Lux gym and a Lux sauna where all of these wealthy business owners go, and you'll have more than enough opportunity to pitch and to sign clients there. Okay, but a couple notes when you are doing this, okay, and when you guys are pitching this is when you do meet them, you don't want to come off as desperate. You don't want to come off as desperate. You don't want to like immediately start pitching them. You just want to kind of let it evolve naturally. Okay, so when they ask what you do, you'll definitely want to prepare like a fun, interesting intro and way to say it, instead of just like, hey, I run a YouTube ads agency, or hey, I do YouTube ads. Although that can work as well, but you want to try to come up with some really cool or just interesting way to say that. So something like, and it doesn't have to be fake or outrageous, but just something simple like, oh, hey man, so what do you do, man? So actually, I help ecom brands add an extra $250,000 to their sales in 90 days with YouTube ads, or whatever. Maybe that number is 1 million. I help ecom owners. I help high ticket coaches add an extra $1 million to revenue in 90 days with YouTube ads. 2x sales, whatever. Just make it your own, right? And that's a much more interesting way, and it gives you a much higher chance at furthering that connection into a potential deal, because you're literally telling them exactly what you do in a fun way, and it's a exciting thing. Like they're like, oh damn, that's cool. Instead of you just saying, ah, yeah, I do YouTube ads. No, it's like, yeah, I help coaches make an extra $1 million a month. That's definitely a more interesting and curious way to do that. Okay. And some other things too is when you meet them, like I said, don't pitch them right away. You want to build it naturally. And you always want to provide some value first, okay? Before you kind of get into any type of work talk. Because the thing is, like, guys, I've met 9-figure business owners in saunas, in, events, conferences, different things like that, traveling, whatever. And you can't just go up there and just try to start, being buddy with them or whatever. Or like if you wanna work with them, or you wanna ask questions, like you don't want to come from a position of they're up here and you're here. You want to come from kind of an equal position. And if you immediately come in there and start, like a lot of newbies mess this up, is they they maybe go to these saunas or these gyms or wherever, and they try to get access to these people, and they maybe get to meet them, and their one chance they blow it, because what they do is maybe they have 5-6 minutes or like 10 minutes with a person or something like that, and they immediately start giving off this like desperate energy, and this energy of like this kind of taking energy. They want something from you, and people can immediately pick up on that. Like I'm sure you can, like most people that are watching this can as well. I can definitely do that. I know within seconds of someone even saying anything, if someone kind of approaches me, depending on their energy and the way they act, whether they're there for a genuine connection, or they're just trying to like take something from me, or they're trying to scam me or something like that. So they can sense that, man. People can sense that, especially people who have a lot of money or are doing very successful in business. So you don't want to go in there and start just asking them a ton of questions about how to do this or how they should do this. If your goal is to like get information from them, your goal should be to come in there on an equal basis and build the connection naturally, and eventually, if it works out, try to work together. But yeah, people mess this up a lot. So what you want to do is provide value. And I know, guys, like maybe you don't, maybe these 9-figure business owners, 8-figure, whatever, 7-figure, they already know what you're going to say. Maybe, I know a lot of them are very, very marketing savvy. They do know a lot about it, but you should be able to tell them something new, especially if they haven't tried YouTube ads before. So maybe you could just say something simple, like, as you're naturally progressing in the conversation, that, hey, speaking about that, did you know, speaking about YouTube ads or competitors or sales, did you know that you can actually find your competitors' YouTube ads and like how well it's doing and how much money they spent? And that's kind of a cool thing, right? Most people don't know that. And, or you can mention something about like, hey, did you know that with YouTube ads, you only pay if someone watches 30 seconds or more of it? It's really good for weeding out like tire kickers and saving money, compared to like Facebook ads. You could just kind of do simple things like those, right? And try to provide value. Maybe they already know that stuff, whatever, but do that. You could try to, funnels, maybe you could do a little bit more research in their niche after you meet them. And so next time when you meet them, you could try to come in there with like some golden nugget about ads or something that's like gonna try to make them more money or help them out or something like that. So again, you don't want it to be forced. You don't want it to be fake. And you just want to try to naturally do this. But the big thing is like, yeah, just don't come in there trying to be desperate, trying to ask them a ton of questions about stuff, trying to steal information or something or value from them. Provide them value first, and then they'll be a lot more open to helping you out if you need some help, or working with you if you're there for a work, if you want to try to sign them. All right, guys. So I'm sure you've all been in this situation, or are starting to learn about this as you reach out, is that a lot of people take no's as a negative. I certainly did this when I was, just starting out, in that, reaching out to many people, hundreds of people, thousands of people, and you get a lot of no's or like whatever rejections. I would take it personally, and it would, it would affect me, and I would have anxiety and all this stuff. So let's just be real. You are going to get rejected, okay? You're going to get no's. You're gonna get even some people that are just dicks and they say fuck off and when you reach out to them and whatever. I find those ones kind of funny. But they suck, okay? There's no getting around it. They do suck, whatever. But we're all human, and listen, don't take them personally, okay? Like, you need to reframe how, if you want to be more successful with your YouTube ads, reach outs, social media agency, whatever, you want to reframe your thoughts about and perception about no's and rejection, okay? So how does that work? Well, what you're going to do is that you're going to reframe that from being a negative to a positive, okay? So, so how you can do this is, first of all, look at it like, okay, think about, let's say you get 100 rejections, right? Yeah, that sucks. It doesn't feel good, whatever. But look, instead of looking at it as like, oh, that's, it's negative. I didn't get what I wanted. I just wasted all this time and blah, 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 whatever these thoughts are in your head. What if you thought about it as like, um, I got 100 rejections, but that's getting me one step closer to my yes. Like how many rejections would you need to get a yes? Just estimate it. Say maybe it's 150, maybe it's 105, maybe it's 50. So if you look at it like this, like, okay, say it takes me 150 rejections to get a yes. Well, every rejection gets you closer to a yes. Do you know what I mean? It should make you like excited and want to get these no's and rejections and get through them as fast as possible, because you know that eventually you're going to get a yes. Do you know what I mean? Um, it's a very interesting way to shift your perception and to make it, not take it personally and just be like, it has nothing to do with you. Do you know what I mean? It's just, there's whatever's going on in their life, it doesn't matter. But for you, getting more no's is actually getting closer to yes, right? So you should want to get those no's. You should want to get rejections, and as many as you can, because you know that the more you get out of the way, just by odds of probability and the law of averages, the more yeses you're going to get. So hope I was able to explain that well enough, but that was something huge that helped me as well, guys, is like, don't even worry about these no's. Just think of it as a way to get closer to your yeses, okay? So let's do a quick exercise. I want to close your eyes and think about how much money that you want to make with your YouTube ads agency, okay? So close your eyes. Think about the exact amount of money you want to make. Don't listen to any voices. Don't listen to anyone that's telling you it's not possible, or your own mind, or whatever it is, okay? Just say whatever. Is that 10K, 30K a month, 100K a month, a million, 10 million a month? So get your number, okay? Think of that number. Now let's say it is 30K a month. So what if I told you you're only 1,000 no's away from making $30,000 a month, or $300,000 a year? Now, think about how you feel about no's and rejection right now, okay? If you get through 1,000 no's, you're going to make 30K a month. 1,000 no's away from making 300K a year, or at least per month. So how do you feel about that right now? Are you, does that change anything for you? Because it should make you feel excited and motivated to start getting out there and getting rejections, because like every no gets you closer to your dream goal, right? So again, like, maybe it does take thousands of no's, but think about the end goal. It's like, would you trade 30K a month for 1,000 no's? Like, of course you would. Do you know what I mean? So try to think about like that, guys. When I fully understood this, and again, I hope I explained this well enough, is that if you're only, 1,000, 500, 1,000, 1,500, 2,000, 3,000 no's away from, X amount of money, everyone makes that trade 10 times out of 10. So you may as well get out and go doing it, and don't worry about any rejections or no's, okay? All right. So, outreach methods. So guys, I kind of went over this before quite a bit on most of these things. I am going to touch on one other thing that I didn't mention yet. So another cool way that not a lot of agencies or people are using today is BombBomb. So BombBomb is basically it's kind of like a Loom video, but you're able to actually send it in email, and it's really, really cool. So this is what it looks like. This is actually the owner or the founder of it. This is actually what it looks like, and in an email. And how it works is you literally just record a 2 or 3 minutes video, and you can send it by email. And the benefit of this is that you can send a GIF of the video, and it's clickable, so they can click on it and they can see the full version with audio. But this really, really helps the reply, like the open rates and reply rates, because no one else is using it, and it also has more receivability, like because it's not like you're not sending like a loom type video. It can get open more, and also because of that GIF, people are more willing to click on it, right? And it's more interesting to them. They see your face, all that stuff. So this is a really cool way to do that as well. That I would definitely recommend trying out. Another way is the Loom video, guys, and I do think Bomb is basically specific for kind of email outreach, so I would definitely try that. But also Loom can work as well. I've signed many clients with Loom, and just sending like a quick, 2 to 5 minute intro video. Just kind of show your face, show your personality, be casual about it. And in the title, what I always do is I will put to whoever, I will put Loom video. I'll put like, say it's like they're looking for a media buyer or something like that, or you're just reaching out for whatever you do as a media buyer. I'll put Loom video intro. Matt, Loom video intro. You can do something like this, guys, and and then you just post the Loom link and a quick message. This has also worked really well, and what I like about both of these methods with BombBomb and Loom is that they tell you when someone viewed it and when they keep viewing it. So it can give you a good idea of maybe when to follow up with them if you do want to follow up, or just know that, oh, they did reach out, they did actually view this thing and watch it, which is cool. So that stuff. Instagram DM. This is another way, guys. Now, this is becoming a bit less popular now because it was used heavily for the last like year or two. So you're gonna have to try it out for yourself and see if you have success with it. But it can still be a powerful method. And basically, what you're gonna do is you're gonna search hashtags, or you're gonna search just in the search, e-commerce or agency owners or coaches, or you're going to try to find some coaches and go through their friends list or agencies, things like that, and find people who could fit your target audience. And you're just going to straight up voicemail them. So you can do two ways. You can send them a text, just a quick kind of like, hey, I noticed I noticed you're doing X, or I noticed you have X, you have an X business. Have you ever considered using YouTube ads before? Or you could tell them a quick story about how you got X amount of results with YouTube ads for a recent client. Depends on what you want to do, but that works. Also voicemails. And I love the voicemails, guys, because it creates curiosity, right? Like think about some random message you and you just see a voicemail. You're going to listen to it. You're just going to listen to it. So I think that's a really cool method. And I've had a lot of success with the voicemails. And with the voicemails, I would encourage you guys just to, you don't really have to follow a template, just be real, just be casual about it. Keep it quick. Keep it like the first one under a minute. And then if you need to send a follow-up one, send a follow-up one that's maybe another minute. But keep it really short and try to do, just try to basically tell them, hey, I found your profile, or hey, I noticed you do X, and I just wanted to reach out and see if you've tried using YouTube ads yet to get you more sales or leads or whatever. That's a good one. And then if they respond no or yes, then you can send another one. So Instagram DMs are really good. We went over LinkedIn. Also WhatsApp, same thing as kind of DMs, and I went over how to get their number as well from LinkedIn. All right, and moving on. So email, guys. All right, so this is a interesting one because a lot of new people to the industry, and also even seasoned freelancers and agency owners, they give email a bad rep. But honestly, email is still the tried true method, and it's one of the best ways to get clients even in 2025. Okay, so why? Well, it's predictable. All right, it's predictable. Okay, so you can get some good data where like, okay, if I send 2,000 or 5,000 or 10,000 emails, I'll get X amount of booked calls. So it's great for that way. And it's the most efficient way to reach the masses. So no other method can you reach as many people as email. If you do Instagram DMs, WhatsApp, whatever, door to door, in person, you can only really hit like 50 to 100 people a day, depending on the limits. So yeah, this is the best way to hit thousands of people and tens of thousands of people at once. And I'm going to show exactly how easy it is, guys, to hit 15K per month, only spending 1 to 2 hours a day sending simple emails. So let's break it down. All right. So if you send 250 emails a day, guys, times 7 days, that's 1750 emails per week. Okay. If we do 1750 times 4 weeks in a month, we get 7,000 emails a month. Now, I know maybe some of you guys are looking at this and like, holy shit, that's so many emails and things like that. That's kind of the first issue, is that you guys are not sending enough emails, and that's why it's not working for you. Okay. You really, really need to pump out the numbers with emails. Like 250 a day is bare minimum. And I'll show you some examples later that if you can get up to like 500 to 1,000 a day, you're going to have way more success, and you're going to have full calendars booked. Okay. So really important to note that. So if we do send, say, 7,000 emails a month, and let's say we get a 10% reply rate, okay? So out of 7,000, say we get 700 email replies. And maybe you guys want to lower that, maybe a 5%, whatever you guys want to do. But 10% is quite conservative. So 700 email replies out of 7,000 emails, all right? And let's say only 1% end up signing up and paying. So obviously you guys are going to have a percentage of that who are going to jump on the calls. So probably out of 700 replies, you maybe you get 10, 20, 30 people who want to book on a call, give or take, a few people. And then out of those calls, maybe, 50 to 75% or more sign. So anyway, we're just going to focus on the sign rate for now. So out of 700 email replies, say only 1% of those sign up and pay. That's 7 clients, okay? And the average YouTube ads contract, if you do retainers, is $5,000, right? So 5,000 times 7 clients, that's 35,000 a month right there, guys. If we do 10,000, that's 70,000, right? And these are kind of lower conservative rates. So you can play with these numbers a bit, but purpose is just to show you guys how crazy this is and how well this works when you play the volume game, okay? So let's just see at a higher conversion rate. Okay, so same setup, but 3% sign up and pay. Boom, 21 clients. You're at 100K a month, guys. 200K a month. All right. It's that easy, guys. Now, again, this is gonna. I'm not guaranteeing this, but this is gonna depend on the niche and also how your email, how good your emails are, your offer. Obviously, like you have to have a good offer and something that people want to look at and are interested in, and the rest of your sales process has to be dialed in. But this is what you can be looking at, guys. And again, this is just with low numbers, 250 emails per day. Now, if you do, again, like I said, double that or 4 times that, you do 1,000 emails per day, then you guys are going to be able to hit those 6-7 figure and potentially 8-figure agencies. So don't sleep on email, guys. This is the method that built. I literally built my whole business and still do with email. It just works, So yes, you can use these other supplementary methods, but this should be your foundation. This should be your bread and butter, okay? And you guys can outsource this. You guys can do it yourself. There's whatever ways you want to do it. But as long as you're doing this, you're going to have booked calendars, okay? And finally, let's look at it with really, really high numbers. So again, same setup, but say we have a 5% sign up or even like a 10%. We're looking at hundreds of thousands of dollars per month, guys, agencies. So $1 million agencies per year, basically, with this method. So guys, this is really important, and I really want to get across that email is the best way to do it. And the reason why it's not successful, why you're not successful with this, is because you're not sending enough emails. You're not sending enough emails. Your offer may not be good. You may want to rework your offer, and maybe your emails also need work. So if you looked at those three things, you would be able to fix that and have more success. So yeah, quickly, like how would your life look, guys, with an extra 10 to 15,000 a month, 30 to 50,000 a month, 50 to 100,000 a month or more? That would be completely different, guys. When I went from, under 10K a month to 30 to 50K months, that was a massive jump in my lifestyle, who I worked with, my time, where I lived, my quality of life, everything upgraded, relationships, everything upgraded. Um, so yeah, with these methods, and if you really kind of stick to them, and put in the work, you guys can have crazy success with YouTube ads. Okay. And that's the beauty of running the agencies, guys. You can make as little or as much as you want. And again, I put those two examples before out there of you can have hundreds of clients and do traditional agency, or you can do what I do now is, I work with around a handful of clients, and I only work with people who are doing, 7, 8, 9 figure businesses. And because I do that, I don't have to work with as many clients. I make way more money than I've ever had, and I have my time freedom. So it's up to you to decide. What do you want? Do you want more time freedom, or do you want to build out an agency, have teams, things like that? Okay. And again, guys, just to kind of show you, like, from using these email methods, this was 30K a month from only 3 clients. So uh, it was crazy, using these methods to the first time I hit 30K a month was just from 3 clients. So you don't need to have these massive agencies or clients anymore, especially with YouTube ads. As long as you are smart about who you're working with, and charge more, charge the setup fee, or charge the monthly retainer. That the maybe it's you end up doing a hybrid model, or just like a 10K a month, 5K a month retainer, or you do a hybrid model of like 3K or 5K a month retainer plus performance, or just fully performance, whatever you want to do. As long as you're making more money, you don't have to work with that many clients. So just going over some daily limits, guys, and these may change depending on when this video is released. But regular Gmail, you get about 500 emails per rolling 24 hours, and your max is around 100 per message. So what I would do, guys, if you're using free Gmail, if you're just starting out or whatever, I would just send them in batches of 50. Send them a few minutes apart, or a few minutes, or like 15 minutes apart, something like that. Couple minutes also you could try, but just batch them in 50, and that's also going to give you some way to experiment with new subject lines and openers and emails and stuff like that, so that you can kind of gauge what does better and then double down on that later. Because if you just send it to like 100 respondents at a time, and the email subject line is not good, or like whatever, it doesn't hit, you've kind of burned through a lot of those prospects. Whereas if you send it to 50, you'll still potentially have another 50 where you could send them a new one, or you sent them a different one, so that you'll have a better chance at signing them, or getting on a call and then signing them. Okay. And Google Workspace. So if you sign up for the paid version of Google, you get 2,000 emails per 24 hours, and you can do like 2,000 recipients at a time. Again, I wouldn't do that. I would do probably 250 at a time, if you're sending those kind of more higher volumes. So yeah, those are kind of two ways to do that for emails. There's also many other ways, guys. There's hundreds of ways now you can do this. Pick something that works for you. Don't make it too complicated. Like, I know guys who spend like weeks just trying to figure out like what their email system setup is going to be. Like, oh, should I use Instantly.ai? Should I use MailChimp, or Mail Butler, or Mailgun, or like whatever these things are called these days? Don't stress about it too much. Just pick one and just start doing it, and then yeah, tweak as you go. But I just like using the straight up Google, and that's always worked for me. It's been easiest. It just kind of integrates with everything, and the Google Workspace is more than enough for what you guys are going to be doing. And then, if you guys get to the point where you're spending more than 2,000 emails a day, that's time to outsource that to a specialized, few people or one person at least. Okay, went over that one. Yeah, let's just quickly touch on the YouTube ad reach out templates. So I did provide you guys with a template here, so you guys can copy this. Remember, guys, don't edit this. This is the master copy. Go to make a copy, and then you'll guys be able to edit your own or copy it, whatever. But but yeah, definitely check these out. And again, guys, I've used these to make well over 6 and 7 figures. So they are successful and they do work. But you do want to make them your own. So one of the ways you can do this is you can provide value first, such as like this one tip will 2x your ad sales. Hey, I'd love to show you this one thing about YouTube ads that will 2x your sales. Would you be interested in hearing it? Reply with a quick yes, and I'll send that over. Very easy, very simple, very casual. You can get a lot of responses that way. Another way, hey, I got a quick tip about YouTube ads that helped our clients add an extra 30,000 sales in 30 days. Would you be down for hearing that? Sure. Transparent, straight to the point. I really like this one because like people just love the truth, man. They love the transparency in an age of fake gurus and fake people and lies and all that stuff, scammers with the online space these days. Just be straight up, honest, and transparent. So for example, you could say something like, hey Benjamin, Matt here. I know you're a busy guy, so no fancy pitch. Just get straight into it. I noticed you're not running any YouTube ads. So can I ask you a question? Is there a reason why you're not doing it? Or was that something you did want to explore? And then I have in here, reason I'm asking is that, most coaches I work with are basically in your situation, but they're sleeping on YouTube ads and leaving a lot of cash on the table. I help, coaches X, X, and X and do X. And hey, would you want to jump on a call? So it can be as simple as that. Another way is to use stories. So if you have previous clients' successes, I would use those. And that's a really good one because people love connecting with stories, right? So subject line, you can be like, how we saved our clients failing business with YouTube ads. Now that's a killer line, right? That's a really, really interesting line. People are going to look into that. And you can tell that story. Case studies, how we just helped another coach, e-commerce brand, drop shipping company, whatever, add an extra 30K in sales last month with YouTube ads. And then the KISS method, which is the keep it simple, stupid. Just casually ask them if they use YouTube ads yet. A simple question. And it's literally just, hey, I just got hit with one of your Facebook ads and I wanted to ask, have you tried running YouTube ads yet? Again, guys, really, really simple, really casual, and you're going to get a lot of responses from these, okay? And I've listed a lot more templates and examples of subject lines, email copies, and things like that you guys can check out and use, okay? So definitely go check that out, guys. All right. So yeah, something else that I get a lot, guys, is do you need a website? No, you don't need a website. Okay, you do not need a website to sign clients. I haven't updated my website in God knows how long, and the amount of, especially with YouTube ads, the amount of people that are going to look at your website is close to zero. Like I don't use my website to get clients. I think that's the big thing is that it's just kind of there to have. I did at the start, like years ago, I used it at some point to get clients, but it was never a major strategy for me and virtually has zero effect on my business. So I wouldn't spend any time on the website. Again, if you guys are an agency already and you're kind of just looking to add YouTube ads as a channel, you can kind of skip this part a little bit, but yeah, basically you don't need a website. If you are going to get a website or you do want to kind of focus on a website, what I would do is just allocate 2 to 4 hours, literally just 2 to 4 hours or less to it, and use one of these AI website builders and just whip up a one pager, and don't focus on it too much. Just get something up, maybe buy the domain if you want for your business name, but that's about it. Don't spend too much time on it because I've seen so many people start in the marketing space who spend weeks or months on websites and they just waste their time and end up end up, having to go broke and go back to their jobs because they don't have a business. They spent it all making a website. Ball mom, Instagram DMs. Already went over that stuff. LinkedIn. Some other things, guys, with LinkedIn is you can use Sales Navigator. So that can give you a little bit more access to different features where you can find more emails and business owners, things like that. You can also direct message to them more. But I find that it's hit or miss, depends on what niche you're in. But I've always found like the Apollo or Signal Hire method of getting their WhatsApp and or email and doing it directly works way better, right? So you could try that. And usually they have a free trial, right? So you could definitely, if you need to, use that without paying for it to try it out. All right, where are we at here? Instagram DMs. So again, just to recap with WhatsApp, you're just going to send them a quick voicemail or text, and it's going to be really quick, 30 seconds to a minute. And I listed here, guys, some quick templates. So you can say in the voicemail, hey, I specialize in X, or I help X do X and Y, to try to get them to respond. You can provide value first. You can try to do a free audit. You could educate them. Sometimes I've used this successfully is I've been like, hey, I saw you running some Facebook ads, but I noticed no YouTube ads yet. Did you know that X and X with YouTube ads? Or try to actually teach them something. You give them something that you can use, that they can use right now to make more money, and they'll be more willing to respond to you. The competitor running YouTube ads, I love that one. If there is competitors running YouTube ads, you'd be like, hey, I just noticed your competitors, when your competitors hit me with a YouTube ad, you could be leaving a lot of cash on the table, something like that. All right, and my double or triple tap method. So this is a bread and butter method that I would encourage all of you to use all of the time. Okay, it's just works a lot better. So what this means, or what this does, is you don't want to just send out one email or one reach out, one whatever to a prospect. Okay, because maybe they don't see it, they get busy, they're on vacation, a million reasons they don't look at it, right? What you want to do is actually do a double or triple tap, which is you want to hit them on everything. So again, maybe we find on LinkedIn that we get their email and we get their phone number. So what we're going to do is we're going to send them an email to their business email and or personal email. So that's one or two hits right there. We're going to maybe send them a WhatsApp message or voicemail if we can. We're also going to send them a LinkedIn friend request and message saying, hey, I just sent you an email. Check it out when you get a chance. Okay, that's 3 or 4. Then we're going to maybe hit them up on Instagram if they have it, Facebook if they have it, wherever you can, guys. Literally anywhere you can, TikTok, like wherever you can. And the more chances, you're giving yourself more chances that they'll see it. And by saying like, hey, I just sent you an email about X and X, maybe it's on TikTok or Instagram or something, then they're going to go check their email and specifically look for your email that they may have missed. So yeah, this method's made me tons of money. I would never just reach out once to someone because you're kind of just wasting that reach out. Again, this is just kind of some more examples for the triple tap method. I won't go through that. Follow-ups. So should you follow up? Now, this is going to cause some heat for some of you guys because I know some of you guys are follow-up people, but my view on this is that I don't really follow up, and I never really use that. And the reason why is I rarely follow up because, unless it's a client I really want to sign, or there's some indicators where I really think that it would be worth it. Especially on my model, if you only work with a handful of high-end clients at a time, you don't need that many clients. So I rarely follow up because if they don't respond the first time, especially with like the triple tap method where you've hit them on a few different things, I know they've seen or they've heard about, they've looked at my messages on at least on one of these or two of these, And if they still don't respond, that tells me that's a level of interest. You know what I mean? And for me, the wasted time in, following up and keeping lists and having dates of follow-ups or automated processes to follow up is just not worth it for me, because when I can spend that on new prospects who, after seeing these multiple hits or emails or whatever that I send them, they do respond, right? And there is a level of interest there. Um, so it can work. You'll have people like in the just sales space, like Grant Cardone, tell you that if you're not following up, you're wasting your time, and a no just means a yes or some bullshit. But for YouTube ads and my experience and my setup, what I do is you're always better off just sending it to new people, instead of wasting your time on someone who you've sent, anywhere from two to five requests to through LinkedIn, WhatsApp, personal email, business email, Instagram, Facebook, WhatsApp DM. Like, if they don't, like, they're not interested, you know what I mean? Or they're busy, or they have that covered. So focus on new prospects who may need your service instead of ones that could not, or they're just not interested. So yeah, that's my view on it. You guys are welcome to disagree, and if you use follow up successfully, then obviously keep doing it. But yeah, I don't really waste my time with that. And then last but not least, guys, so this is really important. So I wanna flip back to the method of my secret hack of reaching out to these job postings on Indeed, Workopolis, wherever. Okay, so a lot of the time they'll say, hey, send your resume, whatever. Even if you email the business owner directly and you talk to them, sometimes they still will ask for your resume. And this is how you want to respond to that, okay? So this will happen, I say, maybe 1 out of every 10 or 20 times. But it does happen, and you can approach this 2 ways. One way is that you can send your resume, and you can just create that dynamic again, that you're down here and they're up here, and go through the interview process, and basically gonna have to go through the application as if you're wanting a job and as an employee, and it's not gonna work out for you very well. Maybe you get the job, but you're not gonna be getting paid. You're not gonna be on a contract. You may get paid a salary, but it's not, that's not the purpose of having a YouTube ads business, right? So you don't want to do that. You never want to send a resume. You never even really want to engage in that. And this is what you want to say, or something that you can approach this with is, so this is an email I actually got from a real interaction, like a couple weeks back. Hi, Matt. Thanks for your email. Your timing is perfect, as I was just looking at possible applicants. Would love to get to know you and see what you can offer, and if it fits the need. When are you free this week? You can book in the chat. If you could send me your portfolio of accounts you've worked on, stats, their social media pages, and resume, that would be great. Looking forward to hearing from you. So immediately, a couple red flags went up. So how you do this? How do you approach this? One, indirect approach. So reply to their email, just keep it short, and aim to set up a call don't even acknowledge the resume. Okay, just get them on a call. And if they do ask on a call about that, you can handle it when that comes up, if it does come up. But on the call, you're going to be taking control from the start immediately. So again, this is going to help avoid that question. And also just focus on finding out the problem and offering solutions. And ideally, when they're talking with you on the call, you're going to have built up enough authority and trust that they're not going to really care about that at that point. And you can also kind of show them some examples of ads and things like that, and even pricing in that discovery call if you want to. So indirect approach, just you're not even going to acknowledge it. It's like they never even said it. Second thing is direct approach. And this way is, you do have to be careful how you do this so it doesn't come off as like aggressive or rude. But you're going to reply to the email and ask and directly address it. Or if they do this on the call, how you're going to address this in person is, you're going to be transparent and say, say, yeah, sure, I'm glad you asked that. I do get that question sometimes. I don't actually do resumes because they're not as valuable as proposals. So I'd be happy to set up a proposal call later to break it down, or show you in this call, break down how my ads process actually works, show you some examples, case studies, maybe get into the pricing, and just review like what you can expect for results with this. So you could say something like that. Another way, B, is so I'm actually the owner of X. I'm actually the owner of AdPop Digital. And instead of the resume, how about we set up a proposal call to go over how my YouTube ads program works, examples, case studies, and pricing. Sound good? Okay. Another way is, sure. For the resume, can I ask you one quick question? When you guys go to a mechanic to fix your car, hire a cleaner for your house, go to the dentist, or go to a surgeon to get surgery. Do you guys ask for their resume, or do you just pay the service to get it done? And this is kind of flipping the question on them. This is a really kind of cheeky, sneaky, not sneaky, but like cheeky, more in your face method. And I do this sometimes, depends on how I'm feeling. And I've done this so many times, I'm very playful with it. And it doesn't come off as like negative, but you got to be really careful about how you do this one because your tonage, because it can come off as rude to the prospect. So you gotta be very playful with it. So maybe practice it in the mirror, practice it with someone a few times. But the basic idea of this is you're turning this question on them. You're being like, all right, so you're asking me about a resume, but can I just ask you a question? Like, why are you asking a resume? When you go to a mechanic to fix your car, hire a cleaner for your house, whatever. Do you ask them for the resume? And their only answer is no, right? And at this point, sometimes they usually, a lot of them will, they'll kind of laugh, or they'll be like, they'll say something, you'll have some banter, and you can just kind of explain why you don't do those, that you've been, running your business for X amount of years, you've, managed over X amount of ad spend over the years, and you have client results or whatever. You don't want to get into a justification thing because then like they're taking back the control. But depending on what they're what you can mention like one or two examples and just be like, as a business owner of 10 years, I haven't done resumes in years. I noticed you guys were looking for or being in ads for 10 years. I noticed you guys were looking for some marketing help, so that's why I reached out. So just to be clear, like, are you guys looking for some marketing help, or if I could tell you that I could bring your business in an extra million a month, or 50K a month or 100K a month, would you not take up that deal because of a resume? Something like that. Again, you guys gotta. I'm just kind of spitballing this on this lesson right here, but again, you got to be playful with it. You got to kind of know you don't want to come off as rude or aggressive or kind of too strict or something. But I do use that a lot. I kind of flip the question on them, and then you can also see how they react. If they react super negatively or they take offense to it too much, saying that you did do it in a nice way, then that's a good sign, because that's a red flag that you probably don't want to work with them anyway, and they were never going to get over this resume thing anyway. So just a few ways how to handle that, but it does come up sometimes when you do reach out with the job board method. Okay. Oh yeah, another one example when you signed up for your for a bank account, did you go to the CEO and ask them to see the resume, or did you just trust that based on their services and what they did? So again, there's lots of ways you can frame this stuff, but it's just kind of flipping the question on them. And again, if they're using this as leverage or they're stuck up on it, I would just end the call and be like, listen, guys, thanks. I don't think we're going to be able to pass this resume thing. I don't want to waste my time. I work with 6, 7, 8-figure businesses, and I don't do this resume thing. I'm not an employee, and I'm not looking for a job. So you just be straight up. And this is, like I said before, this is kind of a potential template way you can say this. Like, hey, Mr. Johnson, seems like this resume thing's a big sticking point here. So just so we don't waste each other's time. If I can help fix your problem, fix X problem and get you X more sales, you're saying that you would still need a resume before you do move forward. In other words, the resume is more important for you than seeing the ad examples, case studies, strategy. Is that right? And of course, they're going to say no to that. But that's a really good way to put it. put it as well, kind of flipping it on them, but being like, so you're saying that the resume is more important than the case studies, or like, what are you saying? So yeah, that's another way to do that. All right, guys. So that's pretty much it for this. I know this was a long lesson, but this is one of the most important parts of starting a YouTube ads business and or running a YouTube ads agency. So, so guys, if you have any questions about this, or you want more guidance on some of these methods or some more details or in-depth stuff, just comment or make a post in the community, and yeah, I'll be there to help you guys out. All right, see you in the next lesson.